guys, I'm just gonna do a little video tonight, kind of hitting a couple requests, maybe. I've had some requests to do some like soft spoken slash whisper story time and also gum chewing. And I recently had someone ask me to do a story time regarding how I discovered ASMR. And so I decided that I'd kind of combine those requests and do that this evening. I'm just going to chew extra peppermint this evening. I didn't want to chew bubble gum tonight, so I'll try to save that for the next video. But I'll get a couple pieces of this out and go ahead and start the video. I hope you guys have been doing well. We are feeling a little bit better in this house. It has been a slow and steady recovery. Man. And honestly, I know that what I had turned into a sinus infection, but I never went to the doctor, so I knew that I would ultimately heal on my own. I just didn't realize how long that would take. So I'm still dealing with some coughing, especially in the evening and in the morning. But it's gotten much better, so it just kind of reminds me why I feel like a lot of times I try to go to the doctor as soon as I can because I know that the medicine will take care of it so fast. This time has really proven that to me because it's been almost a month, I guess, like at least 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks of having something and it just now kind of clearing up. Like, that's intense. But so to kind of discuss how I discovered ASMR, I will say that I didn't know about ASMR. I didn't know that it was a thing until I was in college. So, and when I was young, YouTube wasn't a thing. Like, we had like dial-up internet. So if I was on the internet at my house, people couldn't call the house phone. It would be a busy signal. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. And so we would get in trouble sometimes because my dad would be at work and be trying to get a hold of my mom. And it would be busy because we would be using the internet. And so I think we ended up having like a restriction of time that we were allowed to have like on the computer. It's just funny to think about how much things have changed. Like, also, if I was talking to my friends on the house phone and my dad tried to call, he would get a busy signal. And so I would get in trouble for that if I was on the phone too long. Because we didn't have cell phones, when I was young. My parents didn't even have cell phones. And so I remember that. Like, getting in trouble for being on the phone too long. I was like a social butterfly, so I wanted to talk to my friends on the phone as soon as I got home from school. I wanted to be on the phone like all night if I could, like talking to my friends. I'm so different now. But I remember getting in trouble for that because nobody could get through to the house. And then the point of this is that with how old school things were when I was growing up, there wasn't access to videos and things like there is now, at least that I knew. So YouTube really didn't become a huge thing until I was in college, probably. It was out there, but it wasn't used like it is now. So and I'm remembering now that like 3G, 5G wasn't as much of a thing. I didn't have Wi-Fi, like I didn't have access to internet when I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, even when I got a smartphone or an iPhone, because you had to pay extra to have that. Whereas now it just comes with your plan, whatever plan you get. So anyway, this is kind of turning into I'm just remembering things as I'm talking about this, but to go as far back as I can remember from the first time that I got tingles, I have a very distinct memory, and it's really funny because at most I could have only been like 6 years old, maybe. And I may have been younger than that. But I remember that I was in Sunday school at church. And it's funny because in my brain, like I can imagine the hallways that I had to walk down to get to that classroom. It was on the left. And I remember sitting in Sunday school, and my Sunday school teacher was going around and helping us with whatever we were working on. That I don't remember. And she was chewing gum. And I have that really distinct memory of loving listening to her chew her gum, that I got like tingles, and it was so relaxing to me to hear that. But I've told you guys this before, that my mother hated the sound of gum chewing. And I've talked about this in another video, that to this day, like I don't like to even have gum in my mouth when I'm around my mom, because I'm just like paranoid that I'm gonna smack my gum and she's gonna, be on edge. So like when I realized that I liked the sound of that, it was almost like I had this feeling of guilt, like I had to keep that a secret because my mom hated that sound. Which is so funny, but I was such a young kid, and all I knew is that my mom couldn't stand that sound and that I got in trouble. If she could hear me chew my gum, and by in trouble, I mean she would like make me spit my gum out. And so when I realized that I liked that sound, I had very conflicting feelings. And so I remember from that point on, if I knew that somebody had gum in their mouth, when they were chewing it or whatever, I was happy because I knew that it was relaxing to me. The other ASMR sounds that are more like, I don't know, I guess I used to love to play like librarian. Me and my sisters would play different little, games. And so when we would play like we were typing, I remember loving that sound, like tapping and typing sounds. I remember playing that as a kid and knowing that I liked that sound. So I guess those are a few sounds that I knew. And I loved, like, if I was at the library or at a store and somebody was typing in stuff. You know, they don't really have to do that anymore because everything is just like, you don't have to type in totals and all that stuff anymore. But, you know, I remember when I would used to be at like a department store or something, they would have to type in manually the amounts of like the clothes you were buying or whatever it was you were getting. And I loved listening to that. So that's actually a memory that is coming back to me like as I'm talking, because I had forgotten about that. I thought that the gum chewing was the only sound when I was younger that I knew that I liked, but I'm realizing that I liked those other sounds too. They're just not around as much anymore in public because people aren't typing totals and things like that like they used to. So, all that to say, I knew those things in my mind, but I did not know it was ASMR. I didn't know there was a thing for that. Okay, so I remember I think I was a junior in college. Again, when I was a junior in college, I don't think I could have something like a YouTube app on my phone. So I think I would have only been able to just have it on the computer. I really think that's right. So I remember my older sister, told me about ASMR. And what she liked was just whispering. I remember her like favorite person was gentle whispering. I'm sure a lot of you know who she is. She's phenomenal. But she told me about her, and she told me what ASMR was. And she doesn't like gum chewing. Even now, like she doesn't like listening to gum chew. It doesn't bother her maybe, but she doesn't listen to. That's not like her go-to video. But when she told me about ASMR and what it was, I remember thinking, what if somebody else out there in the world likes the sound of gum chewing? What if that's an ASMR thing? And I remember searching it on YouTube, like ASMR gum chewing, and being like shocked that it was a thing. And this is like I was in college, you know, I was probably like 21. And I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's like actual like things I can listen to that will give me these tingles and like make me feel this relaxed. Like it was like a whole new world had opened up for me. I couldn't believe it. And so from then on, I've always listened to ASMR, and I've discovered other things that I like, you know. I like listening to people writing. I like listening to like sounds of things like being wrestled around, or like I enjoy listening to like makeup hauls candles and things like that, because the sounds that the different containers make when people are going through makeup, I like that sound. I like those sounds. I like typing and like tapping sounds. Like people playing with their hair is relaxing to me, the visual. But I have found, and I think most of the people who watch my channel feel this way. Some people have asked me to do videos with no talking, which I've done with like just gum chewing. But that's not as relaxing to me. I enjoy hearing someone's voice, like if it's calm. I enjoy like soft spoken paired with whatever else. So like soft spoken with the makeup haul or the grocery haul or the typing. I found that most videos with typing don't have talking, which makes sense, but I prefer talking like while you're doing it, like whatever it is. I think Angela Bright is someone that I love, and she has some, I think, where she's typing and talking. But me and my sister are the only two in my like nuclear family that like ASMR. My other sister thinks it's disgusting. Like she can't stand that. Like she doesn't see how it relaxes people. But I think my nieces like ASMR. And it's just so crazy because I think I've talked about this before, but like how awesome to have access to that at such a young age. Like, I know it can be a blessing and a curse for sure, but like, I knew I loved that sound when I was young, but I had no idea it was a physical like response, that it was a sensory response that I was having, and that I could capitalize on that. Like, that wasn't an option for me until basically I was an adult. So I think it's such a nice relaxation tool for kids. As far as some videos that I'm going to do, I'm going to try soon to do another reading video, because I know that like that's probably my least popular video because it doesn't have gum chewing and I'm just reading a book. But I have had quite a few people request that I do a part 2 of that, so I'm going to do that soon. I also have at least one more postcard haul collection to show, which is from the United States. So like the traveling that I've done within the US, which I could break that up into 2 different hauls because I have a lot of postcards from the US, but we'll see. Those are 2 that I'm going to try to do really soon. I'm also going to try to do another grocery list. I'm really bummed because I had like an awesome grocery list for the holidays and I wanted to do that before Christmas, but then I got sick and just felt so horrible that I wasn't able to get around to it before the holiday. But I'll try to do that soon. I'm going to try to do like a typing or tapping video because I've had several people ask for that. I do like, there are obviously some people who request things that I'm never gonna do. I think you can kind of feel the vibe on my channel, and there are just some things that you're not going to get from this channel, so you might as well look somewhere else. But for the requests that I do feel are appropriate and something that I'm interested in, I have them all written down on my phone. I have a note where I keep up with all the requests, and I'm trying to do them. So keep the requests coming. I promise I will try to do it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this relaxing, and I will